Hello and welcome to Late Night White Hatter Weekly Live Show.
Take 3.
Well, okay. So for those folks who are interested in audio engineering, so when you have an audio cable beside a power cable, sometimes there can be sound interference.
Okay.
So
Take 1.
let's take one.
Okay, take 2.
Take 2. We were talking live, and I was in the dashboard watching, and I didn't press the go live button.
So we were speaking to a non-broadcast event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is take 3.
Yes,
And
take 3.
everything's working.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
All right. For the news show, for the top news stories we think are worth discussing, Samsung caught our attention because they announced in a recent update they're adding extra features to the smart TV. Now,
Smart TV or smart fridge?
it's a screen on the fridge.
Okay.
So I guess it's
It's a smart fridge.
smart fridge.
That's what the headline says.
Okay.
Like if you actually read it, it says Samsung smart fridge.
Here's the thing. I read that 3 times today.
I know. You're not having a good day today. It's okay. We're working through it.
Okay, so recent update. They're looking to add features for news, calendars, weather, and curated advertisements.
Yeah, this one doesn't surprise me. I mean, these companies are looking to do whatever they can to get into our home to sell us stuff, and this is just another way to do it. I mean, this kind of reminds me of an incident that we helped investigate a couple of years ago where a parent connected with us because their younger teen was getting themselves into all kinds of trouble on social media. So the parents took away the phone, the computer, the gaming consoles, but their child was still getting online. They couldn't figure out how they were doing it. They were doing it off of the screen, off of the smart fridge, right? That's how they were connecting into chat groups to chat.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
The other thing that concerns me here is that, a lot of fridges now, as you know, there's some really cool ones out there that got like cameras inside the fridge now. So if you run low on eggs or cheese or milk, boop, it recognizes that.
Mhm.
It pops up a message on the front of your screen, create these shopping lists, right? Well, I actually see potential here where this is going to be marketed, where all of a sudden it recognizes that you need eggs or ketchup. That's an example. Let's say it notices you need more ketchup. So all of a sudden, boop, you'll get a notification up on your screen saying you need more ketchup.
You get an Amazon listing for ketchup?
Yeah, and here's a coupon, right? Like,
honestly, for convenience? I mean, for convenience, right?
Well, I guess that's the difference between me, the boomer generation, and your generation. Like, why? Like, why do I need that to happen, right?
Have you ever been shopping and like you forgot to write down what you were meant to pick up?
You know your mother better than I do. She has a list for everything.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Well, no, I never forget anything.
Sure. All right. So reportedly, some users have said that they found settings in the fridge options where you can disable the ads. Some users have said that they have not yet seen those settings. So hopefully they will roll out the disable ad setting for all fridges. However, if you are looking to purchase a smart fridge, maybe consider having like a smart tablet magnetized onto the fridge. You can swap it out if you don't like it. Might be a more convenient method.
Maybe buy a fridge that doesn't have one of these things. It's going to be cheaper too.
True.
So just a thought, right?
A bunch of people last week were panicking because
they're on fire.
There were a lot of news stories about Gmail being hacked.
Yeah.
Upon review, security researchers discovered that a lot of the passwords that were breached were already from previous breaches and likely from phishing websites or scamming websites where they trick people into just typing in their password in the wrong spot.
Kind of a clickbait headline when you think about it with some of these things that hit, right? Because people were panicking, clicking on it. But number 2, one of the things we've promoted this website forever, which is if you want to confirm to see if your email has potentially been compromised, the best site to go to is
Have I Been Pwned?
Have I Been Pwned, right? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You can plug in your email address there and it'll tell you if it's been compromised somewhere. And if it has, change your password, right?
Yep.
And it's free. Doesn't cost you anything.
Ooh, Google's Notebook LM.
I've played with this. Have you played with it?
Yeah, I have. Actually, it's kind of one of the best research AI programs out there.
Yeah, you know what? One of the people who's an associate of ours, Julia, right? She's working on her PhD right now. She teaches up at Vancouver Island University, where she teaches teachers. Right, that's what she does up there, and she really promotes Notebook LM, which is basically a Google product, right? Powered by Gemini, I think it is, right?
Yeah. How it works is like if you have like a research paper or document, like a research article, you can take a bunch of them, you can plop it in there, and you can ask questions about information, data, you can review, you can compare and contrast different research papers. It's a really powerful piece of software.
This is right up your alley, right? Because
Yes.
of all the research that you do and all the articles that you download and stuff. Right?
So they've made some improvements. So they've introduced some updates using the latest Gemini models, so it would be smarter. They are increasing the performance, accuracy, and contextual comprehension.
Yeah.
They're also adding the ability to get more comprehensive and evidence-based answers, which is really good. And the chats will automatically save by default now.
Oh, interesting.
It didn't previously.
Right.
People would do a research review,
Right.
and then they accidentally log out or
Yeah.
click off, and then they
Gone.
lose it all.
Yeah.
So that was a pain.
Yeah.
And they are enhancing and expanding the conversation modes in the generations as well.
You know, where I kind of saw people using this a lot in our industry is they were using it to create podcasts. You know, they have the ability. I know. That's why I brought this up for you to talk about, because you know what people were doing is they were plugging in articles that they were writing and then doing it was called the deep dive podcast, where you can have one person doing the interviewing or it's two people doing it. But it sounds real. Don't get me wrong. It sounds real, but it's very generic, and a lot of people were doing it, so it all sounded the same. So there was no soul.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I would caution people about using this to make podcasts. Number one, for me, as I listen to a lot of like D&D podcasts,
Yeah.
and some people started using this,
And you could tell.
and two completely different podcasts both simultaneously started using this software, and then both those podcasts sounded exactly the same.
Yeah.
But originally they were different. It was the same voice, the same like tonality.
Yeah.
And so I am immediately put off whenever I hear the Notebook LM publication of a podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, no, sorry, I'm not listening to that podcast
And
anymore.
you know, the other thing too is ethically, one of the things that I did, like if I'm using AI now to generate an image, I always put right into the image a watermark now saying that generated by AI, right? Like if you're creating a podcast like this, well, then you should be saying that this podcast was generated by AI.
That's fair.
That's just what I think, right? There's nothing wrong with using it, in my opinion. I mean, there's definitely some benefits to it, but you know, because of all this AI slop, right? And that's just basically the amount of AI data that's being dumped into every social media platform and internet platform you can think of nowadays. It's getting harder to know what's real and what's not. And so by putting in there that this generated by AI, it just kind of lets people know that you're using it ethically.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Speaking of AI,
Proton. Yeah.
they're the ones
Interesting.
behind. They have Proton VPN, Proton Mail. They're basically a Google alternative that have encrypted servers. Now,
you go ahead.
they're launching their AI chatbot on their encrypted servers, which is a very interesting proposition.
Yeah, it is, you know. And so, Brandon, can you just why did Proton become so popular and a competitor to Gmail?
Basically, Proton's like a premium paid version. So Proton's not free. Okay, they have a free email version,
That's
like 5 gigabytes.
Right.
A drive that's encrypted, like Google Drive, but like 5 gigabytes. So they have a free version. But people will opting to use Proton because of its privacy-focused mentality, where even the company can't see what it is you're doing in your email, in your drive, and now in the chatbot.
This is kind of interesting, right? Because again, I was waiting for something like this to start to happen. Because when you look at the other LLM models out there, the chats like OpenAI is a good example, or Grok, right? Those are not necessarily encrypted and they're not necessarily private by default, right? So I was waiting for somebody to come out with a product, and it doesn't surprise me it was Proton to do this. The question that I have is, how did they go about training their LLM, right? How did they go about training their AI? Because like it or not, the benefit that OpenAI has or Grok has is that they're training their LLMs basically on everything that's going into their platform, right? That's how they're doing it. So if Proton is encrypting everything, well, then how are they using it to train their AI?
That's a good question. I couldn't find I was curious as well.
Yeah.
The best sort of, and if I were Proton, I would train it on publicly available data like everyone else, but I wouldn't be able to train it on its own data.
Right.
Right. Because your generations are private to you and the server.
What I think I'm going to do is because I knew we were going to talk about this. I see that presently Lumo is free to try.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what'll be interesting is for me to do a test, kind of like Pepsi versus Coke.
Yep.
Right. Just to see what the difference is, put the same prompt in there and then see what the end product is for Lumo compared to OpenAI or Grok, right?
Some people have tried that, and reportedly what we've seen is the output, the quality of answers aren't as good or thorough as with ChatGPT and all the others.
So I guess this is coming down to what you've always preached, Brennan, which is the risk assessment side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a user who is more concerned about your privacy and issues like that, and about your information being used to train an LLM, well, then maybe Proton's the way to go. Having said that, OpenAI, I know that they now have a feature built in that with a flick of a switch, whatever you're putting in there, they say they won't use to train their LLM, but that's off by default.
But the data is still in their servers that can't be accessed.
Exactly.
By governments.
And this is different, right?
Yes. Yeah. Even Proton reportedly can't. And they have a track record of doing this with their products.
Yeah,
they can't even see what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, I think you're going to see as this takes off. I think you're going to see more and more smaller players start to come to the table because right now there seems to be about 4 or 5 big players within the field of AI. OpenAI, Grok, Google, Gemini. There's a variety of them. There's about 4 or 5 big players out there. So it's interesting to see how some of the smaller players are now coming to the table, integrating AI into their platforms. Yeah.
Okay. Grammarly, which is probably one of the world's most popular web browsing grammar spelling checker add-ons.
And when you think about it, it was probably one of the first big AI program ever used, right?
Well, yeah, we look. It's a good question because Microsoft Word had its word processing and spell checker, and then Grammarly kind of came out with a more enhanced version, and now we have ChatGPT that is better than them all.
Yeah.
But Grammarly has rebranded into Superhuman.
What a dumb name, right? Like, why would you call it Superhuman? Given all the political upheaval over AI right now, Superhuman will scare the bejeebies out of some people, right?
Okay,
it's like the Terminator or Judgment Day, right?
It's about improving humans' ability to engage in writing and publication.
Okay, well, that's different than being superhuman.
It's to make you superhuman in your writing.
This dumb name.
Oh, okay. Well,
dumb name.
Okay, so anyways, if you are
I'm superhuman.
If you are looking at you're looking for Grammarly, it might be renamed. I haven't seen it quite yet, but the program itself might be renamed. The company's being renamed. So just to be aware.
Because they're losing market share to people like OpenAI and ChatGPT that offers a product that is superior.
Well, they are expanding their services.
They're trying.
I know they've bought a couple other companies.
Yeah, they're
moving into the more generative AI space rather than just spell checking.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why they're doing this. But just so everyone knows, because I'm sure majority of the population probably run Grammarly, it is being name changed.
Yeah, it is really amazing to see how the big players in AI, like OpenAI, Grok, all those the big players out there, Google, have really disrupted what has traditionally been strong companies like Grammarly, right? Where, Grammarly was the only name in the game. Well, guess what? OpenAI now does the same thing with their Open or ChatGPT.
Yep.
Interesting to see the
Character AI will soon start banning kids from using chatbots.
I'm actually going to talk about this Thursday. We have We're hosting our own live virtual presentation on AI for parents, caregivers, educators. You can find the link to it on our website, which is www.thewhitehatter.ca. Just scroll down a little bit from the top. You'll see events right there. Click on the link. So we're doing it. And so I'm going to be talking about this. And the reason this happened is because they were getting sued big time over the fact of young people were seriously injuring themselves or taking their lives because they were interacting with these companionship apps that Character AI was developing. And so they decided, okay, well, we're going to put an age gate in. Well, great. Who's going to run the age gate?
Yeah. So
right?
It depends on what the process will look like.
Exactly.
Is it just a check mark going, do you prove you're over 18 or under?
Right. And so,
or do you have to submit ID?
And then what will happen is, okay, Character AI, oh, I'm going to do that. Kids will go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go to Nectar instead, right? Like they're going to go over to another one where they don't have to do an age gate, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. I understand it, but is it Character AI that's going to do the age gating? And do I want to be giving my personal and private information to Character AI, or are they going to be using a third party to do this? And now the issue with third parties is we've had a couple of big breaches now.
Yep.
Where some of these age gating big products who said, well, nobody will be able to get in and take the information. Well, guess what? It's happened. Right?
Starting immediately, under 18 users will face 2 hours daily limit. And then by November 25th, will be fully barred from opening the chat app. Now, users will still be able to access character creation, AI-generated videos, and stories. They just can't interact with the communicative models that are open to go into any direction you want.
So I'll go over to Grok, right? Right. Yeah. So I'll go to Grok, I'll go to Nectar, right? Like anyways.
Well, one way to kind of equal the playing field, some politicians are considering just banning chatbots altogether for young people.
Yeah. And as we know, laws stop bad behavior. I was a cop for 30 years. You know what laws do? They keep honest people honest. That's what they do. This is, I mean, I get it. I understand why politicians are doing this, but it's being a political windsock, right? Because this is where it is. And parents and caregivers want this. And so it's easy to do this and go say, look at what I'm doing, right? And that kind of stuff. But, laws keep honest people honest. It's not going to stop people from doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
And North American laws totally impact servers outside of the country, right?
That's the other thing too, right? Like, what are they going to? And right now, what country is it? I think it was England that levied a fine against who was it? Reddit? No, or 4chan? Somebody, right? Like there was a there was a huge
it's 4chan.
Yeah, 4chan, right? And 4chan says, I'm a U.S. company. You have no jurisdiction in my country. Like, I'm not paying any fine. So, no, right? Like, that's the issue. Like, people don't understand is that.
Oh, that's like BC government having to fine X, formerly Twitter, for having intimate images and being required to delete it. But all they did was geofence them to not be accessible within Canada.
Right.
But they were accessible elsewhere around the world.
Exactly.
But they were like, your laws only apply to Canada.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it's a credible company, they're likely going to honor the law and stuff, right? Like, yeah, but technically, like what's going on with 4chan saying to the EU right now, oh no, you can find me all you want. I'm not paying for it.
Yep. Or X in Canada. Yep.
Right. So, anyways,
okay.
I'm not saying
I wish them luck, but
we do need more legislation put in place to put more pressure on these companies to think more about issues surrounding privacy by design and safety by design, right? Because right now there is no gating, there is no scaffolding, right? There just isn't. And as a result of that, these big players out there are doing whatever they want, moving fast and breaking things. And then if something bad happens, like with Character AI, with these kids, taking their lives by suicide, they plead for like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. We're going to do this. And they just do lip service, right? Like it's already too late. So, I mean, banning something, I think we've proven throughout the ages that banning laws, a good example, prohibition for alcohol, right? Don't work so well. And people find workarounds. So, I mean, I keep getting down to the issue when it comes to these AI chatbots and everything to deal with these issues. Let's teach principles. Principles stay the same, diverse in application. Like if we start teaching good digital literacy, well, then the kids are more likely to react accordingly. We're always going to have a small percentage of the kids that won't, right? And adults as well. In fact, I say that adults are worse than the kids, right? Like in some of these issues. So,
especially those politically active adults.
Yeah. So anyway.
Facebook recently came up with an update talking about how private Facebook groups can now be, by the admin's approval, can become public again.
Well, okay. I didn't read this one, but that kind of concerns me a little bit. Like if I'm involved in a private chat and I thought it was private, and then all of a sudden the administrator goes, "Oop, okay, I'm going to make it public."
Okay. Yes. So Facebook considered that. So a couple things. Once it's approved, it will go through a 3-day notification system. So it will take 3 days to actually be activated. So all the users in the group will be notified of that.
Okay.
And all previously private discussions, conversations will remain private and accessible to all the current members. But only new people, they won't be able to see all the old stuff.
Also, just for everybody who's watching, just know Facebook last year publicly came forward to say anything you're putting into any of their products, right? Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, they're hoovering it. Hoover as in the vacuum. They're hoovering everything and using it to train their LLM, right? Their AI LLM. So truly, nothing is ever private when you're using even private messaging on Facebook. The reality is they're using it to train their LLM.
But this is good news for Facebook communities that are private.
Like how is this? How would this be good news for a group admin?
Well, if you're looking to expand your group membership, it's really hard to entice new people to join your Facebook group because everything's private. Do I really want to join you? I can't see anything.
Okay.
But when groups are public, you're more likely to get more people joining in.
Gotcha.
So it's a way of kind of where groups can market themselves and be more accessible.
All right.
And they can obviously go back to private if they want in the future.
Gotcha.
So just so people know, so they're not freaking out if they think that their super secret private group will be public. There are some conditions attached to that.
Secret, super private group. Okay.
Yeah. Google Translate is coming out with some new models. Similar to how AI, you can choose different versions. Well, being powered by Gemini, Google Translate will have either an advanced or fast translation option.
Okay, what's the difference between the two?
Well, one of the big challenges with translation is when you're doing it through AI, it has to hear the person talking, and then it processes and then speaks back to you, which takes a delay.
Yeah.
So you can enable a fast option in order to reduce that.
Which means you're probably going to get some more mistakes, right?
I guess it depends on the context.
Okay.
If you're in the scenario that you're in, if you are having a generic conversation, I think the fast translation might be just fine. If you're having a translation with a police officer, you might want the more advanced option to make sure what you're sharing with them is more accurate.
Or if you're in a Chinese restaurant ordering Chinese food, make sure you use the advanced so that you're ordering the right stuff and you don't get something else coming your way because you used the fast one, right?
Yeah. So the tech advice would be if you're talking about someone in a different language and you need it to be accurate because there's no taking something back, use the advanced option.
You know, the translation thing is becoming phenomenal, right? It really is. I was dealing with a teacher recently who uses a translation app on her phone, and I think it was OpenAI's one that she was using, but she was using it with a student who is here from the Ukraine. So they immigrated here from the Ukraine because of the war that's going on. The student didn't speak really good English. So real time, she was using her phone, speaking English. It immediately translated over to Ukrainian. The child heard it, immediately responded back in Ukrainian, which immediately spit it out into English. So they were having like a real-time communication back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that?
Real-time? Yeah, not quite. But with the Google update, they are working to make it more real-time with sacrificing some of the accuracy.
Okay, can I share with you a funny story about translation?
Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Like in my policing days, many years ago, one of our officers pulled over a vehicle full of German tourists. So they were speaking German.
Okay.
And didn't speak English very well. So he gets on the radio and says, Does anybody on the road right now, meaning uniform members, does anybody speak German? Because I got a car full of Germans here that we just need to tell them some stuff. A member goes, yeah, I'll be right there. So the member attends. And so they get there. And there, can you just go talk to people? He walks up and he goes, do you speak English? That's what he was doing. Like, oh my God. Like, and today though, I mean, a really good example, body worn video made by Axon.
Mhm.
They have real world translation now. On the body worn
Yeah.
video, you can push a button, which immediately turns it to translation mode, where you can now speak in almost any language and back and forth.
Which is a pretty good feature because we are very cautious about public workers using their personal phones on the job.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues with that.
Yeah, or glasses.
Or smart glasses. That's going to be an interesting conversation in the near future.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Like I in fact I taught I guess I can. I taught certain elements of enforcement when they're speaking to certain groups of bad guys who are maybe speaking a second language, knowing that the officer probably doesn't speak that language. By using Google Translate, the officer on their phones, they can turn it on covertly, and unknown to them, whatever the person's language they're speaking, it prints it out in text on the phone.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we're not, Canada or North America isn't the first country to have that technology.
No.
Honestly, I think China was kind of the first on the market where they equipped all their officers with face scanning glasses to do all that stuff for them.
Yeah, I mean,
incredibly powerful stuff.
It's getting pretty cool now where like you're traveling around the world, you can get earbuds now that do the translation for you because of AI, right? Yeah. It's kind of cool, right? So there's some of the benefits to AI. Right? It's not all doom and gloom. It's not all Terminator, take over the world and that kind of stuff.
All right. Last news story. Google Maps can see the road and tell you to switch lanes only if you're in the new Polestar 4 car. Because apparently when you plug in your Google Maps, it will access the car's front camera and will help determine which lane you should be in before a turn.
What if it's foggy out?
Well, okay, fair. Honestly, I think this is a great feature because we've traveled a lot going to schools.
Yeah.
One of the challenging things with GPS is, yes, it will say to you, oh, turn in these many kilometers or miles for the Americans out there.
Yeah.
But what if there is a turn-off lane? It doesn't always tell you there's a turn-off lane.
Right.
Or maybe the lane is very short. I don't know how many times I'm preparing to make my next turn and I miss it because there's some kind of weird offshoot on the road.
Right.
Okay, this would be fantastic where it can actually tell me going, oh, you want to stay in this lane for this long. I think this is a great feature.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Unfortunately, only available on the Polestar 4.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
What's a Polestar?
I don't know. It's like only available to US and in Sweden.
Oh.
Maybe it's a European car, perhaps?
The Swedish Muppet.
Chef.
Swedish chef. Yeah.
That's how I cook.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it'll be cool to see this being rolled out to more cars in the future. Because honestly, I do primarily use Apple Maps. It ties into Apple CarPlay quite nice. But if Google Maps can tell me which lane to be in more accurately, honestly, I can see that being a much better competitor.
It'll be interesting. What happens if it's foggy or if it's dark out and all of a sudden there's a deer in the other lane? It tells you to switch lanes and whack, you hit a deer, right? Like,
well,
just saying.
Well, even on like Apple Maps, it tells you to be in the left lane, right? But at the times, it doesn't always tell you which left lane to be in. Because sometimes on some roads, there's like 2 left turn lanes.
Right.
It doesn't always tell you that. Or maybe the farthest lane turns directly into another lane.
Right.
So, honestly, I could totally use this feature.
And this is what I mean. Like, things are changing and adapting so quickly because of what's going on with AI right now, right? Like, it just looking at the types of cars that are coming out, these self-driving cars, I just talking to a friend the other day who says he was down in San Diego, and he says he got into one of those taxis now that are driverless taxis, and he says he actually felt safer in that than he did a taxi being driven by a human being.
Yeah, when it comes to robo cars, all they do is follow laws and rules of the road, right? Where they struggle is when things just pop out of nowhere.
Like riots.
Yeah.
Remember all those cars that
Yes.
got burnt?
Yep.
Right? So
that's where smart driving cars are the weakest. But in terms of following the rules as the road, exactly as they are written, I saw a post on social media the other day. Someone in a community just got brand new roundabouts, and they didn't know what the rules were. So someone chimed into the chat going, well, in my Tesla that self-drives, this is when the car signals to turn out of the roundabout. Because at least where we live, you signal when you get to the roundabout, you signal where you want to go.
really?
Yeah, once you're in the roundabout,
I didn't know
right?
that.
You signal out.
I didn't know that.
Right? You go in, you signal out.
I didn't know that.
So,
Oh, there you go.
I think I got that correct. I could be
didn't know
wrong.
that. So if I'm in the roundabout and there's a right turn, I have to signal right so that I'm turning into that?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Good thing you shared that with me.
Yeah. I believe if someone can double check me on that on the BC
Driver safe site?
what's
Motor Vehicle Act?
Motor Vehicle Act. That's the one. Someone double check me on that. But if I recall correctly, you don't treat it like a four-way stop.
No.
You enter the circle, you signal out
Oh, did not
on
know
the
that.
next exit.
Kind of makes sense.
So anyways, and that's what someone said in their Tesla. That's what their Tesla does. And so because it just follows the rules as written.
Right.
So
What kind of a car?
Tesla.
A what?
Tesla?
We don't say that word here in Canada.
Oh, right. We're boycotting that company. Are we still boycotting them?
No. I mean, it's like they were the first of the market, but oh boy, they've got lots of competition coming down the pipe right now. What's interesting that a lot of the competition was coming from American manufacturers. However, with the change in government in the U.S., all the incentives for electric have kind of been taken away now, and they're moving more back to the combustion type of engine. So now it looks like the big players are going to come from places like China and Japan, right, with the electrical cars and stuff.
Well, our tariffs are still 100% on foreign Chinese cars.
It's going to be interesting. Did you see the news federally where our prime minister met with the leader of China? Is he a premier there or something? Right. Anyways, he met with the leader of China, and there's talks going on now where they're looking to discuss issues like that, maybe to knock things
I
back.
think that's around the canola challenge.
I think it's everything that they were talking about.
I don't think. I don't know. We've been so tight on our manufacturing industry and not having outside influence.
Well, yeah, but now look at what's happened, right? U.S. is now throwing all these tariffs on us. A lot of our automotive industry is shutting down across our country, so our people are losing jobs. So if another country wants to come in and say, hey, listen, we're willing to take over those plants and you can build our cars in your country.
Okay, I did hear that. I did hear the announcement of they're looking to build those cars locally.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not being imported.
Yeah.
It's being built locally.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about, right? Like, if other countries are going to do that to us, that has never happened in the past, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with Canada now looking to other countries that traditionally we never did business with before to say, well, hey, we're willing to play in the sandbox as long as it's fair and free.
I can see that working if they build the manufacturing for the cars locally. I don't see that working if they're just being imported.
No, I agree. But I think that's some of the discussions is that, China will say, hey, listen, if you allow us to build the cars in your country and you'll sell them in your country, well, then why wouldn't we look at that, right? So,
all right.
Anyways, that's just thoughts according to Darren, right? Some people will disagree with that, right? I totally get that. But, when I look at the manufacturing jobs and what's going on because of what's happened south of us and what he's doing, I mean, look at the softwood lumber industry in our country, right? It's killing our workers in the soft lumber industry up here, but it's also affecting U.S. builders, right? Where they now have to spend way more money to build homes because guess what? They don't have the infrastructure to support that down there. So it's just stupid to see what's going on, right? Don't get me going. You got me going.
All right. On that note, we'll wrap it there.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on our weekly update show.
I'm Darren.
I'm Brandon, and we'll see you all again next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye for now.
Good afternoon, Dr. Court. How you brought yourself to where you are today?
Wanting to be generous and accommodating.
Work with young people.
We decided to do some background research on these three major mobile ISPs, was clearly prohibited and could in fact be a violation of their terms of service.
We thought this would be an opportunity to create a video about general buying and selling safety tips on the internet.
Created a version 2 that they call the Donashi Scholar, and which is specifically designed for youth.
About a new mobile phone that was on the market called the Wise Phone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unanswered Questions. Sometimes we just don't get enough time to answer all the amazing questions from students during our live broadcast. Recent bug in Meta, Facebook, and Instagram proves you cannot always trust a password. AI cybercrime is happening right now and is likely going to be happening more. We wish to recognize these extraordinary and outstanding people by presenting them with the White Hatter Medallion.